Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to put together the Bunny Easter Basket SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So for this one I'm going to start with the little pieces first. I'm going to put that little piece to the side of the nose. I'm going to put that aside. So it's the handle at the top, the ears, and the two eyes. So make sure you reference the files to see how the eyes are oriented. I mean, you can watch this, but I kind of put them on the mat and whether they're left and right so I can keep track of them. So we'll go ahead and place those, and if you need you can use the something like the pick me up tool. I'm going to show you I had a little bit of blockage, so I just used my pin to unblock my glue bottle. I didn't use that pick me up tool, but you can use it for little items. I thought I was going to use it, but I did not. So there's the eyes. Can move that out of the way. And on the back of this I did put right and left so I knew which which ear to put this on. So go ahead and glue that down. It might not be even if it's not exactly right. If you like what it looks like, just put the innards however you want. If you want the right one on the left side, whatever it is, but it really is just the outside shape that makes a difference. And then whenever you're gluing this on, this is a really lightweight paper, but if you use cardstock or paper, just make sure you don't put that much glue so it'll be easy to curl, because we'll want to curve it for the handle. There's holes at the end to add like a brad or something like that so you can rotate the handle a little bit. I didn't completely center it, but that's okay. It's crafts. It's art. So now we're going to put together the actual basket portion. So first I would go ahead and fold on all the score lines and all the tabs. So you want to just fold back the tabs. The bottom tab is very small and angled, so it is a little bit difficult. But with this particular file, I wanted to make an easier basket to put together. I mean, I do have other ones that are easy, the actual Easter basket we have. But I wanted to, so you could just cut it in one piece, so you didn't have to have, if you've seen a lot of the rounded designs I have, they're all cut separately, the sides. So the bottom is attached for this one. So make sure they're good and folded on all the scores before you put it together. So when we start putting it together, we're going to add glue to all three tabs. I'm going to start from the bottom. It's the smallest tab. You're going to line up that edge to the tab fold, making sure that right edge lines up to the left tab fold, and then go from bottom to top. So you want to make sure that that bottom piece is good and secure before you move on to the next. And because they're kind of a really thin tab, this may happen to you, especially if you're using dash lines. It won't fold really well. It might not fold all the way over. So you just need to make sure that you pay attention to that smallest tab. And then just applying pressure on the inside as you apply pressure to the outside. Make sure it's good and glued together. I didn't make this really huge, so it's a good size for a small Easter basket for a girl, boy, whatever, whoever, or just a gift to anybody, really. What's kind of cool about this is that if you want to make a different themed basket, you could actually leave off the bunny part and make something a completely different character from any of the files that you have. So if you want to make a dog one, you could just make it brown and go find a dog SVG file and add the ears. Like you'll see, just cut out the ears, you'll see how we attach it. So it's a file that you actually could use for so many other things. It's just the imagination. I'd like to make a lot of different things, so I mean, even though I'm saying I could make all these different variations, I tend to make things different and not make the variations of the same thing. Thinking about it, but I haven't done so a lot yet. I like variation myself. So when you come to this last panel, I'm going to kind of situate it so you can get your glue bottle in, and it is easier with a little small bottle like this. So I'm showing you how I kind of move it around until I have the right way, the way I want. I did get a little glue. Be careful of getting glue on your fingers. I had a little bit. Fortunately, I had panels on the outside. And this time I started at the top. Now I found it was easier to start at the top than bottom up for the last panel. So just kind of align that top one and then the middle and then go down to the bottom and just take a couple extra minutes to get it glued. And that's what it looks like on the inside once it's done. So we're going to put just glue together the little nose really quick to get it ready for a further step. So you want to, they're really small tabs. So you're going to fold on all the score lines, and hopefully you can see it well enough. There's really only, for now, there's only one tab you're going to glue. So when you get it all folded, there's this one tab, and see it's going to fold under and glue under to make the nose. We're going to add glue to that little tab and then align that other edge to the tab fold. And then those other tabs will just flip in. You know, I was going to put it back on it. It really doesn't really help that much. So it's going to glue right to the front of the basket when we're ready. So next part are the panels. So when you put the panels, I made sure it's situated so that front panel where the face is going to be towards me, that means there's no holes in the ones adjacent to it. So the holes are in 2 panels in the back, not in the front. So you can emboss it or not, but when we put the panel on, I start from the top and then apply pressure at the top and then glue to the bottom. So you can see I'm curling them a little bit before I put them on. And then we're going to go from the top to the bottom, and I put glue around the edges and the top and the bottom generally for this. So it gives it a rounded look. So you don't see those folds. The folds make it easy to put it together. So the hole is different on both sides, so you just make sure you have the right panel. And put a little bit more glue around the whole part just to make sure it holds there. And you make sure it's centered around that hole and then aligned with the top, and then apply pressure on the bottom. So I have sped this up a little bit because it is repetitive. But the biggest thing is if you're not going to emboss the front, because you can emboss all panels or use pattern, but I was thinking some people might want to put pattern on the sides and put a face on the front, and anyways, so that's why I didn't emboss the very front. But just make sure you put that front one so you have 2 solid panels on the left or right of it, no holes. And then I'll note the embossing folder in the notes that I used. I know it's one from Reese. But you could use, the reason I put panels is it's optional. If you didn't want to put panels, you wouldn't have to. But I know I like to use pattern paper and embossing folders, all that fun stuff. So I always like to give the option, even if you decide to use the file differently. And it gives it kind of a clean look. So now that's done, we're going to add that nose. So the biggest thing here, so you'll see it kind of folds in. Now they fold over each other. It's okay. It kind of gives a little bit more structure in the back. But we're just going to figure out where it's going to go, and that's about where it's going to go. We're going to just fold back a couple of the tabs and then fold over. So add glue to the 2 small tabs first, which is the top of the nose, and then fold them over and add glue to these other pieces. And just know where you're going to put it before you put it down. You're going to place it, and then what I'm doing is pushing on it gently, so because it's obviously hollow, and applying pressure on the other side. And you want to hold it for a little more longer than you normally would hold anything else. because you want to make sure it's good and secure before you go on. So I did hold it quite long. This video is going a little faster than normal time. And there it is. Just make sure you know where it is. If you want to put a little pencil mark before you put it on, that helps too. So there's nothing special other than the left and right about this, the ears. You can put them straight up, but I'm going to kind of curl them a little bit. You can use your heart's desire. If you want them straight up, you can have them straight up. I kind of wanted the left one to be curled a little bit, so I'm going to curl that over a little bit. So I'm kind of gently curving it. You could use a tool, but I tend to like the easiest tools in my life, which are my fingers. But you could use like a round utensil or something like that, or if people curl flowers, are probably much better than I am at this. And I'm just basically going to put glue on the tip and kind of put it a little bit under the front panel edge. You can pull them in a little bit further or out. It's really up to you. And this is where I think this is a box or basket that you could use for other characters, because you could put any kind of ears on here and any kind of face. I mean, you wouldn't have to use the 3D nose. So just curl it until it looks good to you. It really is, there's nothing, if you're going to give this as a gift. And do you see that box is a little bit skewed when you're looking at the top? It's paper. You can just kind of move it around. It'll get back to shape. It's just because I was moving it around. That's a nice thing about paper crafts. Paper's pliable and will move for you. So you can see I just held it. I didn't make them perfectly center, but you know, I always say it's art. So now I just kind of want to know where I decided I want to pop up the eyes right when I was doing this. I was going to put it glue. I was going to just glue them on. But with the white on white, there's not enough dimension, so I just added a little bit of black chalk on the edge. Just so it gave it a little bit more dimension, because like I said, I'm white on white. If I made like an off-white rabbit, which that would be very cute, that would have been better for the white eyes. Blue eyes would be fun too, like the blue eyeballs. So I'm going to add this Scotch foam tape. I had to cut it a little bit. And then I'm just going to, I like to dry fit them on first, just to make sure I know where I want to put them. And you can always use, again, a pencil or something like that to mark the place you want to put it. I just don't like to limit people with little cut marks to tell them where to put things. I only do that if I think it's absolutely necessary and it's going to make your life easier to put it together. And you can see that the chalked edge kind of makes it pop out a little bit more since it's white on white. And you could add a little face too. You could just draw a little face at the bottom. But we're just going to add on the whiskers. And I forgot to curl them before I put the glue dot of glue on. So just curl them kind of up. And then you can just, like I said, you could leave it. I left off a little mouth, but you could put a little line down and a little happy face if you want, or pull in a happy face from another file. So this, I thought it would be fun. Usually I put like little white pen accents, but I had this really teeny rhinestones. So I was going to try to use a pick-me-up tool, but it kept on flipping the wrong way. It's a great tool, but the rhinestone wasn't turning the way I need to have it turn. So I'm going to use it to place it where I want it, but then it was a little bit too sticky. So anyways, it's just a really small rhinestone to give a little eye accents. Then these are the holes for the handle. So I'm going to use a big brad. You could use a little brad or kind of a medium size, not a teeny one. A teeny one might go through the hole. And if you wanted to cover the other side, you could just cut out another little circle, but I didn't include that with the file. You could also glue it on too, and just, if you didn't want the hole, you could always fill the hole with your software. Most of the software has tools to be able to fill it or get rid of it or hide it so it doesn't cut. And it's a little bit offset, the handle, so it kind of pulls on the back. It's a little bit different. I didn't want to center it on where the tabs were. So you see it'll rotate. So you can easily add things and then rotate it back. So that's it. That's the finished Bunny Easter basket. I hope you enjoyed this project. I surely did, and I think it will be a fun one and versatile one for the future. Thank you for watching.